Now we want to switch gears and talk about something women like to focus on: relationships. Many of us start with a strong attraction but end up wanting to run away in the opposite direction. So the question, why is that? Here with us now is Rick Brown, the Executive Director of the Institute for Relationship Therapy. You got us on the couch today, Rick. Good morning.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
Hopefully working out our problems here in a matter of minutes. Is that possible?
Well, I don't know we're going to do it in a matter of minutes, but the whole attraction process is a fascinating process because on the one hand, there's the person you want to be attracted to. On the other hand, there's the person you're going to be attracted to. For example, everyone has a mental image of the kind of person you'd like to be with, somebody who's attractive, fun, intelligent, responsible. That's what you want to be with. But what you're actually going to be drawn to is someone who has the positive and the negative traits of your parents.
So basically when we're out dating, we don't realize it, but we're looking for what we're used to, I guess?
That's exactly what happens, but you don't know it. So for example, if you grew up in a family with the parents who are hardworking, responsible, loving, but at the same time you had a father who was emotionally unavailable, you're going to be attracted to someone who's hardworking, responsible, loving, and emotionally unavailable.
And I would guess that that's where the problems come in down the road, because you love them, it's that attraction at first, and then when you realize that maybe they're not there for you down the road, that's when the troubles start to come. And sometimes it's 10, 25 years down the road.
That's exactly what happens. And then people think they made a mistake. They married the wrong person. They didn't marry the wrong person. They just need to work out what they got into. So I remember a woman who came to see me, and she was there with her husband who did not want to be there. When they sat down, she said the reason they were there is because she was tired of her husband's drinking. He was so mad about that, he got up and he walked right out the door. She sat, she talked with me, she cried, I listened. She came back next week by herself. Her husband refused to come back. She cried and did not know what to do. At some point, she made a painful decision she was going to divorce this man. She cried about that. She did not take that lightly, worried about the children and worried about working. I saw her in my office for 3 years, once a week. At the end of that time, she began to work, had a career, was dating, she was happy. Had I a rubber stamp in my desk drawer, I'd have stamped her forehead, healed, success story. It turns out 4 years later, she calls me.
Oh, let me guess.
Yes.
She met another guy. Same story, same problem.
But what was interesting about this is she actually married another man, and she did not marry another alcoholic. She married a very prominent, very successful attorney here in town who was not an alcoholic, but he was a workaholic. And what do you think the complaints were? Probably
the same thing, that he's not available, not there for her, and the problem continues.
The problem continues.
So how do we fix that? How do we find someone that we're really going to be compatible with over the long run?
Well, but that's what you have to understand, though, is you're going to be drawn to somebody who you're going to first feel compatible with. And if you stay in that relationship long enough, you're going to begin to feel the friction of your incompatibility. And unfortunately, most people at that point either end the relationship or they just end up staying stuck, and they live like that for 10, 20, 40 years.
But you say you don't have to do it. You can work through it and make it a good thing.
Exactly. Like in this case, that man who was the workaholic, he looked at me and he said, you know, this is my second marriage. I heard these complaints in my first marriage. Maybe we need to do some work. And we began to work together. Because you've got to get that resolved. It's that unfinished business, and you'll either work it out in this one, or you'll be working it out in the next one.
And they say that's the key phrase with marriage, that it's work, it just doesn't happen.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Rick Brown, thank you for joining us today and helping us understand ourselves a little bit better today.
Thank you. It was great to be with you.
We'll see you again soon.